And, I guess my image went black there. I apologize. Let me get that back up there. There we go. There's me. So so moving on, the claims for relief that he's asking for. Section D of the filing lists 15 claims. Among them, he cites that Mullenweg's retaliatory actions disrupted existing client contracts. So let's look at some of these claims. They have 3 claims in the article that really come out, uh, into the into the open for the most part, okay? Go back to the article here for you. Okay, so number 1, intentional interference with contractual relations. Defendant Matt Mullenweg's actions, including banning Michael Willman from the make.wordpress.org Slack workspace and retaliating against him, disrupted existing contractual relationships. Some specific examples are the $14,500 website development contract that was canceled due to Michael Willman being banned from WordPress.org, the remainder of another contract with Trellis that was lost valued at $5,536.35, and an ongoing relationship with Trellis that included active retainers valued at $4,700 a month in addition to regular ad hoc work, the combination of which generated $77,638.65 in invoices in 2024. So, how much he actually loses as a result of that one really depends mostly on how long this drags out. But and whether or not he can get those clients back and get the continue to make that revenue. But I mean, there's a substantial of $77,000 a year. I mean, that's a lot of money. Intentional interference with prospective economic relations by targeting and banning Michael Willman from essential WordPress platforms. Defendants interfered with potential business opportunities. The absence of new website development projects, loss of existing relationships, and the unease expressed by clients about the WordPress ecosystem are direct results of these retaliatory actions. Now, see, this is one that I myself have been experiencing a lot lately, and I think anybody who works in this sphere probably have started to experience this. I've had clients express concern. Fortunately, I haven't lost any clients yet as a result of this, but I am getting a lot of claims from clients, a lot of complaints and concerns from clients about what will happen with WordPress and what happens if Matt decides to shut it down or whatever. Okay. Um, the good news is that we have a huge community backing that can pick this thing up and take the reins and run with it. What we have now will continue to work into the future for quite a while. He can't really take that away from us due to the current licensing. Okay, what he can do is he could, and I have heard a friend of mine just told me a little while ago that he heard a rumor, and this is just a rumor right now, not confirmed, that Matt had threatened to close source WordPress, and that would prevent anybody from being able to fork anything going forward. But it won't prevent anyone under the terms of the GPL that the current releases are released under. It won't prevent anybody from taking what is there and moving on with it. So I've been able to reassure my clients somewhat, and I hope others in the business and industry can do the same thing. But so far, I mean, that's kind of the biggest threat and the biggest concern that I've had. And I know that there's a lot of others who are losing revenue over this. Just because I haven't so far doesn't mean I won't. I'm not immune to it. And the thing is that WordPress is an ecosystem that supports thousands of businesses, small and large. And it's our lifeblood. It's what we live on. So it is a scary thing. And when you're having clients who are trying to put their faith in you and the platforms on which you provide for them, this can be a scary thing. So, next one is attempted extortion. During discussions, Matt Mullenweg offered to refer clients to Michael Woolman's business on the condition that he cease working with WP Engine and join automatic affiliate program. This constitutes coercive conduct aimed at disrupting Michael Williams' business relationships. Oh my god. What is who does he think he is? Al Capone or something? I mean, this is like some Godfather type extortion level crap. It's ridiculous, you know? Look, I'm finding it difficult to criticize Matt in some ways because I always liked him. I've met him a couple of times, had a few conversations with him, and when I met him, he was a great guy. I thought he was pretty awesome, and he did really great things. He's been a backbone of WordPress for so long and from day one, and all that's great, but honestly, he's wiping all that out. It's becoming easier and easier to criticize him as he falls into this narcissistic trap, and it's like this kind of extort this kind of coercion to conduct business in the way he wants you to conduct business in is just it's like some Godfather level crap. Alright, libel. Matt Mullenweg publicly claimed that Michael Willman oh, jumped up too far there. Hold on. Alright, so public statements nope, too far. Publicly claimed that Michael Willman made threats of physical violence, a statement that is objectively false and defamatory. This damaged Michael Willman's reputation within the WordPress community and beyond. Now, I'm not super familiar with Mr. Willman. That being said, everything that I've read about him in the short time since reading this article, because I did do a little homework, that does not sound real to me. It doesn't sound legit. And, um, I've always been the kind of guy who says, "Bring the homework, bring the proof, you know, bring show me the receipts." And so far, Matt has not been able to produce any receipts of any of these claims, to be honest with you. He hasn't shown any proof, and if this is things that were sent in messages, then they would be easy for him to show people and say, "Hey, see, here's where he threatened me," or "Here's where he said this," or "Here's where he said that." That being said, I haven't seen the paperwork from anybody from the other side either. So that kinda, goes both ways. But I would say that Mr. Willman's claims have more merit based on some of the posts that Matt himself have made, some of the things that he has said, in various interviews and whatnot. Gives some reliability to the statements that Mr. Willman and others have made. All right, trade libel. Public statements by Matt Mullenweg disparaged Michael Willman's professional services and integrity, causing harm to his business relationships and reputation. So, let's see here. Possible outcome of a new court motion. Now, like I said, I am not a lawyer, but I do want to say that I have a hunch in my mind that the court's hands may be a little bit tied on what they can do in terms of enforcing a government's body, and enforcing that out because it's not a publicly traded corporation. So, that is a little bit, I don't know what the laws are on that, but I hope that it can be done. I hope that the court can say, "Hey, look, you have to step down as the main lead as a sole lead, and you have to form this governance board, yada, yada, yada." I'm not saying Matt needs to be kicked out completely. Maybe he does, maybe not. But what I am saying is that for him to be the sole arbiter of WordPress.org has, through this whole debacle, proven to be a dangerous thing. And it needs to be stopped. It needs to be ended. This is not okay. This is not acceptable behavior, and it is a danger to the WordPress ecosystem. Now, do I think that it will destroy the WordPress ecosystem? Absolutely not, because like I said, we have the biggest open source community in the entire world, okay? The most successful open source community in the entire world, and it is backed by everything from individual freelancers and just end users, all the way up to big companies like WP Engine and others, okay? So, these are people who will back this, and I know there are companies out there, GoDaddy, WP Engine, uh, Kinsta, and others that will sit there and completely back this thing financially. Host Magi will back it financially. We will pledge to back it in any way that we can. Now, we're not a big company, so we don't we can't donate millions or anything like that, but we'll do our part to help this keep this thing going because again, it's our blood, it's our lifeblood, it's our livelihood, and it is the livelihood of so many freelancers, agencies, and companies that we can't let it die. We have to fight for this, folks. We can't just sit back and let this crap carry on and destroy our beloved community. And I do think that we can do this. I do whether that means we fork it into a new system altogether or it, stays WordPress and we have some other arrangement with it. I don't know, but whatever happens, we'll carry on. I'm not worried about WordPress coming to an end. Right. So, let's see what the article says about the possible outcome. The motion to interview contains serious allegations of abuse of authority by the single most influential person in the open source WordPress project, a worldwide ecosystem of developers, business users, publishers, plugin and theme developers, and thousands of volunteers around the world who contribute to the development of the WordPress content management software. The filing not only seeks restitution, it also asks for changes to the WordPress governance to remove Matt Mullenweg from his position of power at WordPress. And they do have a link here so you can read the actual official government document, filing that was filed by Mr. Willman. And so that's the end of the article. All right, so let's take a few minutes to just kinda discuss it here. Let me get myself full screen here. Okay, so my thoughts on this are that, uh, if the courts are able to force Mr. Mullenweg into, getting kinda stepping down and forming a governance board, then I think regardless of how the rest of the WPA turns out, I think all be fine. I think we'll see that WordPress will recover from what has happened here. If, however, the courts are not able to do that, or they refuse to do that, and or if he decides to take it closed source, then that means that they're the only option left for those of us in the WordPress community who want to save this is to fork it out something new. So technically, it'd be the end of WordPress.org, and it'd be the birth of something new. Maybe like the phoenix rising out of the ashes, you know. But the point is that we have everything we need in this community. I truly believe this with all my heart. We have everything in this community to carry it on and carry it forward and take it to new heights. I hope that if it does get forked, I hope that the first one of the first things we do is we form a good governance board, that will give a good democratic, um, functioning and management to the new project that will carry it on to the new heights that it can reach. Now, Matt has basically sat there and started banning anybody who doesn't agree with him, anybody who argues against his case, um, and that in and of itself is retaliatory, and the problem is that this one filing here, I think, is should be proof to Matt and to Automatic that, um, they're opening themselves up he's opening himself up to a lot of potential similar litigation. I mean, anybody who gets harmed by this, anybody who loses revenue by this, anybody that loses clients or business by this could potentially join this lawsuit in the same way. I mean, this could it's in some way become a class action type suit, um, because there's again, there's thousands and thousands of millions of people who make a living off of WordPress every day, and if he starts costing us business, if he starts costing us profit be by his direct actions, then every one of us could jump in on this lawsuit. And honestly, I think what Mr. Willman is doing is awesome, and I would encourage anybody who has lost revenue as a result of Mr. Mullenweg's actions should get in on that lawsuit. They should jump in there and go after that damage. Go after the damage, but it's not just so much about the damages in terms of how much money you've lost either. It's about saving this community, folks. It's about letting your voice be heard and letting the courts know how Mr. Mullenweg's actions have damaged you and damaged your reputations, damaged your businesses, and, you know, you're I think that would lean credence towards the request for, forcing him to step down. I think it would lead credence to the request for a governance board. Uh, now, I spoke to a friend of mine, who also owns a, agency and, uh, that makes his living off of WordPress, and he had made the thought and the suggestion that maybe what we need to do is have companies like us, like him and me and Redev and WP Engine and GoDaddy and others who do earn substantial profits or substantial portions of their income off of WordPress to all jump in together and be on that fork and to go in and we could provide the infrastructure, we can provide the resources, we can provide the skills, development, experience, and we can kinda be the basis of that, and we can bring the rest of the community who want to join us to be able to form the new fork of WordPress and be able to continue this mission on because it is a mission, okay? Let's face it, folks. Let's be honest. WordPress is not just a money-making platform. It is a mission. It is a community of people who are passionate about what we do. We're passionate about WordPress. We're passionate about this entire platform and about this entire community. WordCamps, WordPress meetups, other WordPress events that go on all year long, all over the world are absolute proof of the passion that we have and the strength of our community. I think our community is strong enough and smart enough to carry this thing on with or without him. Look, I just recently released an article and a video, on Host Magi blog talking about, do we actually need Matt Mullenweg to thrive as a community? And I would encourage you to watch that video and read that blog post, but because it has a little bit more information and it kinda, talks a little bit more about that argument about, "Wow, do we really need him?" And honestly, I don't think we do. Now look, I've always believed that one of the greatest strengths of WordPress community is that it welcomes literally anybody, anyone from any walk of life with any skill level, any experience level can come in and join this community and be welcomed in as a part of the community, like the biggest family in the world. And I love that about this community. So I don't wanna kick anyone out of the community. I'm never for supporting in support of kicking somebody out of the community without truly just cause, okay? So, I mean, when there's behavior that is unbecoming, like Mr. Mullenweg's behavior in the community, the first step is to address that behavior and try to correct it, try to course change it before you kick somebody out. Matt is not doing that with any of these people that he thinks are violating the code of conduct or that he is accusing of harming the WordPress ecosystem. He's not following his own code of conduct. He's not following his own grievance policies or procedures. And that's the thing is I think that is the first step we have to always do. You don't just kick somebody out because you don't like what they have to say, because they disagree with you. This community is not about that. It never has been. So, honestly, folks, I hope that Mr. Wellman is successful in getting the things he's going after, the things he's asking for. I really, truly do. I don't know if he will be, but, he's got my full support. I'm right behind him, and if this does end up costing me revenue, I promise you I will jump in on this, and I will get in there and and get some of the try to get a piece of this. Not for the money or anything like that, but I mean, try to get in there and let my voice be heard and let him know how he's harmed us in this community. Uh, I don't think I have a place in doing so until I've lost money from it, but I wouldn't any damage, any monetary damages I give, I would probably give one that I was to get if I did end up joining it, I would 100% give back to the community, 100% of it. But because it's not about the money for me, it's about the harm that he's doing to our community. And and if enough people stand up and fight against it, then I think we're going to see some action actually happen. I think we're going to, it's strength in numbers, power in numbers. So, folks, if you have been harmed by Mr. Mullenweg's actions, if you have been damaged in any way by his actions, you've been banned from the projects in any way, you've lost revenue, see what you can do about getting in on this lawsuit and letting your voice be heard. At the very least, spread the word on your social media. Talk about it on there. Share your experiences with us. Share your experience with us in this chat. Share your experiences anywhere you want to, but just get your voice out there and be heard, because that's what it is about. That's what's going to save this community. That's what's going to save our ecosystem. I don't honestly want to see WordPress have to fork. That is not for me the best outcome. Not even close. That's not even close to the best outcome in my opinion. The best outcome is that we solve all of these battles and all of these disputes. Matt steps down as the sole lead, and we get a governance board that manages this more democratically, and WordPress can continue on as WordPress. But I am also not against forking if that does turn out to be the best option, if it turns out to be the only option, because it may be. So, with that, folks, I think I've ranted and raved long enough tonight and took up enough of your time. Again, our very first ever live stream. I hope you enjoyed it. Please, 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 do let us know if whatever your opinions are. Leave comments, like the video, uh, share it with anyone you want to, and please go ahead and go to our blog, hostmattai.com/blog, and read our article about does WordPress need Matt. Um, and let us know what you think about that one too, and maybe watch that video if you prefer it in video format. It's basically the same thing, so, you don't have to read and watch, just do whichever one is more comfortable for you. But until next time, folks, hopefully we'll do some more live streams in the near future, but until next time, y'all have a good one. Take care of yourselves and each other, and remember, the best and most important part of WordPress is our community.